Right. Well, hello, everyone. I'm digital host A.J. Wuest, and earlier today, the Madison County District Attorney held a press conference regarding the case of Deshler High School student August Borden, who was severely injured back in August. Today, of course, I am joined with 48's Nick Balenger, who attended that press conference. Let me get him up real quick. Nick, obviously there was a lot of speculation from the community and from our viewers that Borden was assaulted. What all did the Madison County DA have to say about that speculation?
Well, AJ, first, thanks for having me on the show. It's great to be here. But one of the main points that the District Attorney Rob Broussard made was that kind of silencing the social media speculation, all these sort of rumors, was one of the most difficult things that they had to do. But they ultimately found through 17 different interviews and 8 different eyewitnesses' accounts that Borden was joking around with teammates after practice, and one of his teammates had picked him up in what they call a, quote, bear hug. So imagine if I wrap my arms around someone, and that teammate noticed that something was wrong with Borden, and so he let go. And then witnesses say shortly after, Borden passed out and slipped off a curb about 6 inches high. And now, picture this, he was passed out, so when he fell, he didn't have anything to brace. He didn't have his arms to brace, and so he fell directly onto his head and fractured his skull. And investigators say during this process they found no malice, no ill intent, and they ultimately say that this is a, quote, freak accident. Now, obviously, the circumstances are very unfortunate, but they say now this case is closed.
Very interesting. And the investigation into this case took nearly 2 months to complete. Did officials detail anything else that went into that investigation process?
Well, they did address how long this took to happen. Now, obviously, we have to go back. Madison County District Attorney's Office was asked to take over this case because over there in the Shoals, there was a conflict of interest. The investigators knew some of the people involved, so this generally happens. This is not an unusual thing, but a lot of the time went into being able to drive back and forth between here in Madison County and Deshler High School, where they would interview some of those students, some of the coaches, parents, anyone who saw this. And they did say that over the course of this investigation, they were getting multiple tips, people that said they had information, but they said they only listened to people who had eyewitnesses accounts.
Right, absolutely. And Nick, was there anything else you learned through this press conference?
Well, they really wanted to hammer home the fact that this case is closed and it was a freak accident despite all of the circulation over social media. I know you saw it, I know I saw it, I know a lot of our viewers at home who are watching this, they saw all these theories of what may have happened, but they just wanted to hammer home that there was 17 different interviews with 8 different eyewitnesses, and all of the eyewitnesses' accounts matched up that this was just a freak accident and Borden had passed out and slipped off that curb and hit his head in a very unfortunate way that caused him to be hospitalized. They said that they had to block out all of the noise on social media and that they just wanted to uncover the truth.
A freak accident indeed. And of course, Nick Balenger will be staying on top of this tonight, coming up in our evening newscast. But Nick, thank you for your time.
Thank you, AJ.
Yes, sir. Well, now we are going to head to break, but coming up, we'll go through the weather with 48 First Alert Chief Meteorologist Brad Travis and a few stories in case you missed them. We'll go through it all in 1 minute. All right, well, hello everyone and welcome back to Before the Four. Now let's talk about the weather for this week, for the rest of this week. 48 First Alert Chief Meteorologist Brad Travis with the latest. Brad?
Well, hey, good afternoon, everybody. We got great weather. It's cloudy, but it's cooler out there. It looks like fall. Leaves starting to fall from the trees. A lot of that's because they're dried up. Weekend forecast looks pretty good. It's going to get warmer, though, but the morning lows, the evening temperatures, fantastic. Outside right now, just after 3 o'clock in Decatur, it's still cloudy. It's not raining, though, and it's 76 degrees. North breeze gusting at 15 occasionally. That's about it. You can see the warmer air down to the south. Atlanta, 85, Tuscaloosa, 83. Farther north, the air mass is what we call modifying. That means as the sun shines each and every day, that air is not as cool as it was since it escaped out of Canada earlier in the week, but it's still comfortable, and that comfortable air moves in. This evening, we're going to see it clear out just a bit after sunset, down to 69 by 8 o'clock, and then over the coming days, general warm up. Tomorrow, a sprinkle or two, that's it. That's the 10%, 76 for the high. Morning low of 53, then 55 Friday morning, slightly warmer there, but then a reinforcing shot of drier air coming in over the weekend. Morning lows, upper 40s and low 50s. Afternoon highs, we'll get close to 80 by Sunday. No rain into the early part of next week.
All right, that is certainly good to know, and you all know the drill. 48 First Alert Weather Extra. That is tonight at 9:30. First Alert Chief Meteorologist Brad Travis. He'll be back here in the streaming center. He'll have all the latest he's seeing on the radar. You can watch it wherever you're watching Before the Four right now. You're just not going to want to miss it. But now, turning over to a story in case you missed it out of Huntsville. A former pastor has been federally charged for using over $400,000 of church funds on luxury items. 48's Faith Delp with the latest.
Adrian Davis was the senior pastor at the now closed Huntsville branch of All Nations Worship Assembly. New court documents show that Davis used the church's money from around 2018 to around 2020 to buy cars, shoes, and much more. This is Davis back in 2019, during the time he is accused of taking funds from the ANWA church. Court documents say he bought a $30,000 Audi and $45,000 GMC SUV with the church's money during this time. They also say Davis used the ANWA church's fund to pay off over $100,000 of his own credit card debt. Court documents say some of the purchases on that credit card include a $4,900 purchase from Louis Vuitton and more than $18,000 in jewelry. The documents also say he used the church's money to pay his mother's mortgage. In addition to the wire fraud charges, Davis is going to plead guilty to filing a false tax return. Court documents show in 2021, Davis filed a false tax return stating he made around $138,000 in 2020, but he knew he received more than that. Court records show Davis has signed a plea agreement, pledging to plead guilty to federal wire fraud and filing a false tax return. As part of the agreement, he will have to pay back over $400,000 to the church and another $100,000 back to the IRS. He is also facing up to 23 years in prison across all charges. The U.S. Attorney's Office and Davis's attorney both declined to comment when I reached out earlier today. Now, Davis is scheduled to be arraigned right here in federal court on October 23rd. Reporting in Huntsville, Faith Delp, 48 News, on your side.
And now we're in day 8 of the federal government shutdown, but some federal workers here in Huntsville are taking their time off from work to continue serving the community. 48's Callie Neese with this story.
One group of friends is using their furlough time to give back.
I called Yvonne and I said, hey, did you see that post where they need eggs at this soup kitchen?
This group of friends found a Facebook post from Rose of Sharon's soup kitchen about a month ago when they were in need of eggs. By the time the friends saw it, it was too late. The soup kitchen had already had all the eggs they needed.
The next time we have an opportunity to go help down there, we should. And so the furlough just presented an opportunity.
And that's what these women are doing.
It's unfortunate to be on the furlough, but there's always other people out there that are in worse situations than we are.
Teresa Wilson Todd, the executive director here, told me these are not the only federal employees coming in right now. She told me some are coming in seeking help. She told me she has seen a 25% increase in those looking for assistance since the government shutdown, and says they're from all walks of life.
I would encourage anyone just to call here, ask for me personally, and if we have to do it after hours or whatever, I want that. We're all about dignity here.
Wilson Todd said they are here to help anyone and everyone in need. Michelle McNeil told me most people are not planning to be without a paycheck, so it can be scary. But McNeil and the rest of her friends are looking on the bright side and giving back to those who can't.
Right now we're without a paycheck, but we're still blessed because we have a roof over our head, we have utilities, we have all the stuff, a lot of different things that they do not have, we have, so we still consider ourselves blessed, even though we're going through a furlough.
Reporting in Huntsville, Callie Neese, 48 News, on your side.
Awesome story there, and that was 48's Callie Niche reporting. But now it's time for Facebook fun. And our 48 Facebook question today, festive, it is October. We're gearing up for Halloween. So what is your favorite movie to watch in October? What is your go-to movie? And let's see what you all had to say on Facebook. Looks like Jeff Moore said Halloween. That is what he is watching during the month of October. Cannot go wrong with Halloween. April Edwards, It's a Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. A classic. I remember being a young kid. As long as I can remember, I've been watching that movie every single Halloween. I guess it's a short film, a short movie. Rena Allen, what did she say? I missed that one. We'll go back to it. All of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. Yes, that is from Frank Muller. Cannot go wrong with that. And then Jeff Moore. And let's see what that other comment was. We said Jeff Moore's. We said Rena Allen, she said Hocus Pocus, another Halloween classic. We also have a couple comments here that weren't included in this. We have Jeffrey, he said Nightmare Before Christmas, and also Casper. Blazing Saddles, that is from Dan George. And we have the Halloween Town trilogy from Hope. But you all, as always, had super awesome comments on today's 48 Facebook question of the day. That is just about all she wrote for today's Before the Four. But thank you all for sticking around, tuning in, and spending a bit of your afternoon here. I hope you all have a great night tonight. Enjoy tonight's evening newscasts. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You all have a great night.